Hello everyone and welcome back. So today I thought I would just do a bit of a tip video on how to beat Crucible 8 and onwards. So I'm probably going to play Crucible 10 because that's when it really starts getting hard. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're taking a really good relic. So I'm going to take Vanguard here, so I'm immune to damage when reloading. That's really helpful. It works at my defense. And then you also want to check the map. So I'm going to head to a chest and the elites, and I'm fighting the moles, so I need to make sure I get OE. And in the later crucibles you don't start with much gold, so you really want to try and get as much gold as possible so you can upgrade or get new orbs. And in the higher crucibles I have a checklist. I always try to make sure I've got good defense so I'm not taking too much damage. I also try and make sure my refresh situation is sorted so I'm not getting refresh stuck. And the other one is I always try and get as powerful as I can, so that's taking orbs with high damage and relics which are really helpful, which can help increase your damage over time. You're also going to want to sort out your health. I mean, starting with 100 health is good, but what I mean by sorting out your health is either getting some really good healing relics or healing orbs, or just something which can upgrade your health. I mean, the more health you have, the more likely you are going to win, because they obviously have to end up doing more damage. And another tip is, if you've got an easy crit and you can get a lot of damage, go for a crit. And I'm going to upgrade Splat Orb here because those orbs aren't exactly very good for me at the moment. And I always tend to go for question marks if I've got them in my plan path, because you could always get a chance of getting a chest or an elite. And don't be scared to take an elite, because if you get an elite and you kill it and you get a relic like Popping Corn, it basically pays for itself and you've got a heal in there. And I obviously took Bramble, it's going to be very useful. And on these type of fights, go for bombs. The bombs are there to help you. Just make sure you're getting enough damage with the bombs, because you don't want to have them sitting there lining up, beating you up and making you lose unnecessary health. And obviously upgrading my Splat Orb to level 3, so that's already maxed out. And another way of learning how to beat the higher crucibles is obviously just trying out different ones, different relics. Don't always take the same relics, sometimes take a different relic or different orb. And here I really need to get into the bombs, because if you don't, there's so many enemies, they will end up really putting a hurt on you. So like I said, I'm going for bombs, trying to get as much damage as possible so I'm not taking any damage. And obviously always trying to make sure I've got the gold to be able to upgrade or heal. And unfortunately I didn't get 25 gold there, but I can just go to this chest and collect the 1 gold I need there, and we'll see what relic we get. And yeah, Strange Brew, so extra bit of damage. I'm not saying I'm the best player of Peglin. I still make some silly mistakes, and it's just learning. That's the best way, is just learn how you can get better. Like, if you realise you played a bad shot, just think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's no point saying, oh, you're getting unlucky. Yeah, it's a roguelike, you're gonna get strange bounces and that. It's part of a game. We play games to enjoy them, so this is just like a kind of little tip to realise, you know, it's gonna get harder the higher the crucibles are, so just try out different ones, try out different relics. And as you can see, I need to sort out my refresh situation, because I'm rather refresh stuck here, so they're going to end up just pelting me and making me take extra damage I don't really need to be taking. So I'm more than likely going to heal after this fight, because I'm already over halfway through my health pool, and that's not really good to be in such a low situation. And heal up, and yes, I've got Prime Water Frost. That's brilliant. It gives me a bit of extra piercing damage. That's really helpful. So as you've seen, I didn't even look at the other relic because I knew I needed piercing and bombs doing extra damage. That's brilliant. I mean, getting all of the extra damage possible and going into this elite, the fact that I've got piercing as well makes it really handy. And you see the piercing comes in so great, it wipes out my first 2 enemies, making it so much easier. I've got more time to collect gold and get damage up. And this is where Bramble comes in quite handy as well. I've locked the elite in place there so he can't move for 2 turns, so I've got 2 turns of him not advancing on me and being able to get that damage. Yes, it dealt a bit of self damage, but look, I've almost killed him and he's just stayed at that same spot where he spawns. So there's an elite fight where I didn't take any damage. I'm going to heal up and brilliant, I've got health sorted out. Grinding Monstera's leaf, brilliant. I'm gonna end up getting so much more HP now. It means when I heal up, I heal more health and I can gain extra health by killing enemies. And I'm gonna try go to this chest here, which I got lucky enough to go to, and we'll see. So complex claw, there's another thing. Like I said, I'm always gonna aim for a crit if I can hit one. So getting extra crit damage, really helpful. And as you see here, what I mean by not a best player of Peglin, really should have been able to hit that crit, but I've got a crit here, crit freshen, and really helps with the damage. I mean, the first guy is almost wiped down, and with the fact I've got Prime Water Frost, it's easy. The first 2 plants are already wiped down, and I've been in this fight for, what, a minute, if that? So hopefully we can get a good relic, and we've got intentional oboe, so there's a bit of extra defense, so they do 1 less damage to me, which is really good. And I really need to sort out my AoE as well, maybe get like an echo orb or something, or poltergeist, just so when I go into castle I've got an orb which can hit through all of the shield and hit all of the enemies. And I'm gonna bramble this mole in place and hope for a good crit place, but as you see, I get one, and being able to do 72 extra damage. It doesn't seem a lot, but all that extra little chip damage, really helpful. And now I've got Splat Orb. I mean, I've almost taken out half of his, well, he's already over halfway through his health, so the fact that I've got really high damage as well, really helpful. I was hoping to bounce into a crit there, but yet again, I really need to sort out my refresh situation because it's in such a terrible place. So just going to try and get some bombs. So as you see, I get quite low, but I should have enough damage to sort out the mold, and getting a bomb really helps. And he's on 96 HP, and Vanguard coming in really handy there, being able to dodge the attack, and gonna hit that refresh, hopefully bounce into a bomb, which I do. And yeah, I mean, as you see, this fight's gone a little bit worse for wears. I could have done it without taking as much damage, but we're gonna heal up, and I was gonna take Ball Lightning so I can hit a refresh and crit more often, and I'm gonna take the gift because it doesn't really have a downside. The other 2 dealing health damage and my orbs doing less damage, not very great in this type of build. And as you see, Ball Lightning, hitting a crit, hitting bombs, hitting a refresh, sorted. And now I've got a good chance of getting through this fight without taking any damage. And as you see, making sure you've got piercing and AoE in castle is very important, because sometimes you get guys with shield and that, and they're just so annoying. They eat up really high damage for like a 5 HP shield, so being able to pierce through that gives you more of a chance of winning. And obviously the more relics you have, the higher chance of being able to win the run as well. And we've got damage reduction slimes being added when we take damage. I mean, it doesn't seem too great, but this map is probably not the best for gift. But as you see, I've got piercing, which is really handy. So, I mean, I'm gonna make this work. I would have rather not had to deal with this fight, and I was hoping to hit a couple of bombs. And another thing to make sure you do is have a really consistent deck. Make sure you know what you want. So if you've got opportunities to remove pebbles, remove the pebbles, because they're not going to be doing great damage compared to the orbs you take. And this is why it's important to have piercing or AoE, because this guy with a shield is sitting here beating on me, and I've got AoE, I've got poltergeist, and I'm gonna fully upgrade it. So that's my AoE sorted, my damage is sorted, my health is sorted apart from healing. I need to get some healing relics or healing orbs, and then that is mainly the checklist completed. My refresh situation isn't great, but I could get a orb line refresh circle or something where it's easier to hit the refresh, and maybe get a fresh bandana or something just to give me a bit of extra refreshes. And with gift, I was able to collect all of the gold on this map, and that's another thing, be smart with your gold. If you're at like 100 health out of 117, don't heal up, you're still already at starting health. And this map is another one where it's all the shielded guys, so what you see is I'll target the ranged guy with all lightning, because it will stop him doing chip damage to me, and a little bit overkill. So, and now I'm just gonna fire poltergeist. It's a bit of an orb where, yeah, it's gonna attack all, but you don't want to give them any chance to get closer, so the less you're reloading, the better. So what I'm going to do here is, I was thinking about removing a pebble, but being able to upgrade them all, it will probably work out better, because I've still got a lot, and it means when I do have to fire a stone, we're a little bit better than the standard stone, so they do more damage. And this is another fight which could potentially be a run ender, so being able to get the high damage like I have is really helpful, and being able to pierce through them, because these guys really hit you hard, so you want to try and deal with this fight as quickly as possible. So I'm going to heal after this fight because I'm below 100 health, and then we're going to go into a middle to take on an extra fight, so we could potentially get a really helpful orb, or if needs be I can heal up again. And this is another one where you need AoE and piercing, because a lot of the guys have shield and they're just such a pain to deal with. And as you see, I really play this badly. The fact that gift makes this map a little bit harder to deal with, not being able to break into a middle to hit a lot of pegs. I'm gonna just use a pebble here because I should have skipped to poltergeist, but it was a silly move on my behalf, and I was hoping the bomb would shoot it up and hit it through the other pegs, but it didn't, and I should have targeted a shielded guy there. That's another mistake I made, was not targeting the right guy, and I just reloaded so Vanguard would save me, and I'm really trying to break into where those bombs are. So as you see, I was in a bit of a rush. I misplayed that. Just gonna hit the bomb with a ball lightning. Gonna take Echo Orb and upgrade it fully. So that's really handy. If you have a lot of damage beforehand, you can do all of that damage again and head to his chest. Hopefully we get something good from it. And we get Cookie. There's some healing sorted, so that's really handy for us, and we'll see what goods we can get from his shop. And just debating, we're going to take wall banks, add 2 damage, debating about removing, but then I realise I've got the concentration orb where I can snipe a refresh when I get refresh stuck, and the fact it does such good damage as well. As you see, I was able to snipe a crit, do a lot of damage, and now I'm going to use Echo Orb to basically do all of that damage plus more. And we should be able to defeat this wall. I think we're quite powerful, and we've got refreshers healing us as well, so that's really handy. If we get hit a couple of times, we've got a little bit of backup health by refreshing. And another thing which is quite good to do is, if you get stuck on an elite or a fight and you keep losing to the same fight, maybe write it down or just take a note of it somewhere saying, I keep losing to this fight, and then I've done this, I got further by doing this, and it just really helps. And I'm going to take pumpkin pie here, so I got extra chances of doing more damage, really helpful. And then head into his chest as well, hopefully pick up another good relic, which is decoy orbs, so they don't get an extra turn on the first reload. Really helpful, especially in Crucible 15 where each reload they get 2 turns. So as you see, pumpkin pie coming in quite handy there, and the fact that Ballista is such a heavy hitter but he doesn't shoot all the time, that's quite balanced. But the fact that I can always target him with ball lightning, or the fact that I've got piercing, that's really helpful. And I'm just gonna snipe the crit refresh here, hopefully banks into a crit, which I didn't. I probably might have been better off going for a crit, but Echo, that was a pretty bad shot, but able to wipe out all of the minions what spawned in. And as you see, I'm a little bit refresh stuck, and just going to use poltergeist. It's got decent enough damage now, and hopefully banks into a refresh, which I have done, and pumpkin pie coming in. So as you see, it's really handy because I've got up to 816 damage instead of 400. I was really hoping to bounce into that crit or refresh with that pumpkin pie, and yeah, that was another bad shot there, but I feel like I should be able to get enough damage, and the fact that Echo Orb can now do extra damage with a crit, really helpful. And there you go, an Echo Orb going from what, 70 odd damage up to 200, not the best, but we should be able to wipe them out in the next 2 turns, especially with a sniper orb, just gonna try and get a refresh, which I didn't. And ball lightning should bring it home. Come on, hit a crit. Bounce into a crit, that will do it. And there we go, ball lightning, hitting a crit, giving me a victory. And the fact I've healed up all the way. And that's another thing. And if you really want to make sure you get a guaranteed win, take Molten Mantle. In higher crucibles, it helps out so much. And you see what I mean, it's such an overpowered relic. It pretty much guarantees you a win. I wouldn't say guarantees you, but probably makes it 10 times more likely you're going to win. As you see, this mirror's already wiped out. And the fact that I took it going into caves, your build should already be sorted out by caves if you make it that far, so taking Molten Mantle isn't going to be too much of a bad thing. And I'm going to get rid of a pebble here, so that's really helpful. And obviously just going to go through question marks, and you see how helpful Molten Mantle comes in these next couple of fights. Like, look, it's pretty much wiped down 2 of the guys already. Poltergeist is going to come in and wipe them all out. And yeah, now I've got Ekorb doing a 216 damage. It's making sure you've got really certain orbs you want and taking the relics which are really going to help you out. We're just going to head off to this shop and potentially find a relic or an orb which can help us out. And Refilibuster, yep, deals damage when refreshing, and I'm going to remove a pebble. So my deck is really consistent now. I've only got 1 pebble, which is really useful, and all the other orbs in my deck are ones I've took and upgraded because they're the orbs I want to be using. So the fact I've got Molten Mantle helping out with extra damage, I got Complex Claw, and I'm a Spinfenter, so the orbs get a buff if a unique. Ekorb is really helpful there, doing so much damage, and you see Molten Mantle just wipes out back. And we're gonna go for a crit or we'll go for a refresh, and here we are. Molten Mantle just destroying them, and I didn't even have to fire the orbs, which meant I didn't chuck a red bomb, which meant I didn't take any damage. And I'm probably gonna head off to the right to get those 2 chests. It's always important to make sure you're trying to get as much power as possible. And in this fight, you're going to see how powerful Molten Mantle is. I don't want to spoil anything, but it goes absolutely crazy. And you'll see what I mean at the end of this fight. So, if you haven't guessed it by now, yes, it absolutely one-shots them. And I don't even have to fire my orb. So as you see, I slow it down to make sure I go to a chest. I wasn't going to try and take the combat. It wouldn't have been a bad thing, but it's always important. If you need to slow down a movement, slow it down. And Valiant Heart, more orbs I have, more healing. I don't think I'm going to be using it that much, but it's always another good helpful thing to have. And this is another fight where I don't play it to the best of my ability. Molten Mantle comes in really handy, so I'm kind of overconfident, and we've pretty much finished this fight already. I'm just trying to snipe a refresh to get a bit of extra heal. As you see, I'm still at 100 health, so I'm not going to heal up because I only got 40 gold, so maybe another chance to find a good orb. And yeah, that was a bit of a disappointing pumpkin pie. This one and of the mushroom fights is a harder one. It just seems so hard to get the damage you need, but obviously I've got quite a lot of damage, and the fact that I've got Molten Mantle, I should be fine. And obviously using the Ekorb, which bounces out annoyingly, and so does that pebble, and that was me just being stupid rushing through. And I'm now at the point where every shot I fire is a crit, so that's guaranteed to be good damage all the time. Ah yes, perfect. More opportunity to get extra damage, and I'm gonna hit the crit here and hopefully one-shot him. If not, not too bad, but ball lightning should come in really handy here, which it does. Two-shotted the forest boss, and refresh and punch, really helpful. It just gives me extra damage because hitting a refresh explodes nearby pegs, which means more pegs hit, which means more damage. And as you see, I just do so much damage, it's not even fair for the enemies. To be honest, I could have played this a lot better, but I mean, I feel very confident about the run I'm doing. I feel like I'm pretty much guaranteed the victory here, so a little bit overconfident. That's one thing else not to do, is get too confident, and as you see, we've fought that, so into a shop, and then it should be an easy victory. And I completely forgot I can't remove an orb, so just gonna skip on, and we're fighting a QR code. So this is another fight where you see how powerful Molten Mantle is. I pretty much destroyed this boss. I should be targeting a purple guy because he buffs the damage of the QR code, so I should have targeted the purple one, but I thought in one shot I wiped out two of them, so it's not going to be too much of a hard fight. I'd done this without too much health or any real healing, so it goes to show how much power I got with the Molten Mantle Complex Claw. I just, so much power, it's unbelievable, and the fact that my bombs deal more damage is good as well, and I'm pretty sure I've got Ecorp here to finish it off. So if you watched this video and it's helped you out, just hit the thumbs up button and comment some of the tips you do to get through the higher crucibles, because it's always nice to help out other people, and as you see, Molten Mantle coming in really handy. So thanks for watching guys. If you liked, hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you in more videos.